Hello and welcome to Cycles of Time, your weekly guide to what's happening on Earth as we make our revolutionary journey around the sun. For time immemorial, our human ancestors have created myths and meanings to help us adapt and thrive as seasons change. Join me each week to explore the intersections of these ancient cycles, from the indigenous medicine wheel to the pagan wheel of the year, the Babylonian and Greek zodiac to the I Ching, the ancient Chinese book of changes. I'm your host, Alison Dale, and this is the Cycles of Time podcast. Hey there, friends. I hope you had a joyful holiday week last week, however you choose to celebrate. Last week, the sun was transiting through the human design gate of vitality, which is known as joyousness in the I Ching. And I love that Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa all fell within the energy of joyousness this year, which hopefully encouraged us to rise above our dissatisfaction for a moment and recognize that nothing's perfect and find some joy in the small things. There's nothing quite like the joy of Christmas morning through the eyes of a small child, so my cup is personally full from watching a sparkly blue princess in a shark mask and a top hat playing Nerf hockey around the living room with her little cousin friend. That really is a memory that will always stick with me. And there's nothing like the chaos of Christmas to bring out just like the most adorable moments for a 6-year-old. So having a full house of family and kids felt like what Christmas is supposed to feel like. My grandmother had hosted Christmas Eve at her house for the past 40 years, and this was the final one at her house as she's moved into a home. So we didn't get to be there, and I hosted Christmas myself, but it was really sweet to see pictures as well from my family, my extended family up north, and kind of this grand finale of all the great grandchildren. And it just having that at home here also reminded me of just how fun it is to have a full house. But I've had plenty of Christmases that didn't feel so hallmarky, for sure. A lot of lonelier and sadder Christmases. So this one really stood out as quite a joyous occasion. I share the holidays or trade off the holidays with my ex and kind of split custody for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And so last year, it was not the same. It was my partner and I kind of sad and lonely in a Thai restaurant in Las Vegas, and then got some food poisoning from that. So it felt like distinctly opposite. And so I have to appreciate the moments that feel really rich and alive and joyous when they're here. This year was there's still just such a crazy mess in the living room with sparkly and colorful trash. At least it's sparkly and colorful, and it's kind of sad to even throw it away, but it's starting to be that time. We had some pozole and green chili enchiladas, and I had a total giggle fest with my childhood best friend over a game of Scattergories on Christmas Day, and got a lot of random texts from people who chose to use their holidays for sentimental messaging. And so I just really felt a lot of joy in my heart, and still do, with all the glittery paper waste all around. And I truly hope that you found some moments of joy last week too. For me, even the things that weren't so joyful, like almost slicing my right thumb off in a high-speed mandolin potato cutting adventure, actually resulted in the kind of type 2 joy of not being able to scroll on my phone over the past few days. And it's true that no scroll equals greater vitality. And so, if you're having a hard time doing a digital detox and you're wanting to, just, slice your thumb where you're normally scrolling, and it makes a big difference in wanting to do that. So it's healing up nicely, though. Thanks for asking. So this week, the sun is continuing its transit through the gate of vitality, just through most of Monday. And then it's going to be transitioning into the gate of the fighter, or the gate of the warrior, on Monday evening, just in time for the new moon in Capricorn. So the new moon this week is the second new moon in Capricorn in this calendar month of December. And so it's actually called a black moon. Just like the second full moon in a month is known as a blue moon, the second new moon in a calendar month is known as a black moon. So the gate of the fighter, or warrior, on this black moon carries big warrior energy, super useful to help us define what's worth fighting for as we consider any New Year's resolutions that we want to make. I mentioned this last time, but I definitely have never really been a fan of New Year's resolutions. It felt kind of arbitrary. And, there's a lot of people who are like, the winter is time for resting, and what is January 1st actually? And I'm totally one of those people, because I think the Gregorian calendar is a little bit arbitrary. However, when you line it up with the I Ching wheel of the year and find that you move from this joyous holiday season to the gate of the fighter during New Year's, it kind of makes sense. It's funny, my daughter has started identifying with the warrior archetype herself, but she pronounces it worrier, and it's pretty cute. She's like, I'm a worrier. And so let's not make the same pronunciation mistake for our New Year's season. We don't want to be worriers. We want to be warriors. So yeah, up with the warrior and out with the worrier for this entry into 2025. The gate of the fighter is a root center gate with a desire and pressure to act. So it doesn't have the pressure or desire to think too much. It's more an action kind of coming from the root. And it's interesting to me that a lot of our Gregorian New Year's resolutions typically orient around action, getting fit, losing weight, working out. I feel like the deeper and less physical resolutions do tend to come out over time. But when I go to think about a New Year's resolution, or if somebody asks me, I always think about how much more embodied I want to be around this time of winter. So it lines up quite nicely with that action-oriented nature of the gate of the fighter energy. This year, my partner / Santa got us one of those stand-up vibration plate boards for Christmas. You've probably seen them advertised, but you stand up on this plank, or you plank on it with your hands, and it jiggles your whole body. It's just like this very fast, constantly vibrating platform. And I'd never used one of them, but I am really excited to use it, because I've used the whole being Santa and being busy, plus the Mars retrograde in my first house, as a couple of really good excuses for being pretty damn lazy over the past extended while, just not really moving as much as I normally do, and I'm feeling it. So I am pretty stoked to get off the couch and do some squats while being jiggled to high heaven as the gate of the fighter takes hold for the first days of 2025. If you haven't tried one of these, I highly recommend it. It's pretty cool. And I'm noticing results already. It's bringing me joy in these last days of the gate of joyousness as I record this. And so anyway, before we go into the new year, as we're going from the year of the strong dragon into the year of the hermit snake, as I talked about in last week's episode, right before that, on the 31st, we're having a pretty auspicious transit with Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, making a sextile to the North Node at 1 degree of Aries. And I don't always talk about these transits, but since it's the last day of the year, this one felt like a nice way to end the year. It's a harmonious aspect between the North Node's collective destiny, kind of what we're all hungry for and seeking out, and then, of course, the transformative power of Pluto in Aquarius, as it just entered Aquarius for the next 20 years. It's speaking to a theme. This transit is speaking to a theme of spiritual leadership and putting the icing on the cake of the North Node's time in Aries right before it enters Pisces for the next year and a half. So the nodes of fate are changing signs from Aries, Libra to Pisces, North Node, and Virgo, South Node. And that will change where our eclipses happen. Over the past couple of years, they've been happening in Aries and Libra. And so this is kind of that final moment of the Aries North Node that is making a beautiful sextile to Pluto. So it's kind of about rising up with agency and transformative leadership power. So I hope you're feeling that as we exit 2024. It's happening, this sextile is happening one day after the new moon in Capricorn. So it's shining the light on how our destiny is intertwined with how we embody our values. So during these last few days of 2024, at the beginning of this week, couple of days, I guess, you can just look for subtle signs of synchronicity in your life and pay attention to what feels enchanted and magical and alive to you. Interestingly enough, if you read the Gene Keys chapter for the Gate of the Fighter, you'll see the word destiny quite often. And it's kind of like this Gate of the Fighter is about persevering through obstacles and making our destiny become more clear as we persevere against the obstacles that come up in our life. So for me, I haven't always known what I believed about destiny or fate. It hasn't always felt super clear to me, and how it intersects with free will. But I do think there's a fusion possible. And I do love the notion that we help shape our own destinies and our own potentials and our authentic ways of relating to life by persevering through obstacles rather than turning our backs to them or feeling defeated by them. So how do you feel about destiny? I'm curious. This is a week that destiny, the word destiny, keeps coming up. And I like thinking about it as looking for these enchanted and magical moments and signs and symbols and omens as we make our way through these last days of the Gregorian year. So this week's highlights, as I've already kind of gone into, we have the new moon in Capricorn at 10:26 p.m. Eastern on Monday, December 30th. Then Tuesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, is Pluto in Aquarius sextiling the North Node in Aries. Wednesday, January 1st, is New Year's Day. And in the Human Design and I Ching Wheel of the Year, from Monday, December 30th, we are still in gate 58, the gate of vitality or joy. So if you're listening to this on Monday, get your yayas out, get some jollies on. This is your time to shine. By Monday evening, for the new moon, we are moving into gate 38, the gate of the fighter or the warrior, and that lasts until Sunday, that sun transit through that gate. So the themes of the week that I've pulled out of the top hat, my daughter, she's so cute in a little top hat, putting all of her stuffies in there and pulling them out. So this week's themes, we are looking at the world through an enchanted lens and paying attention to moments of synchronicity. The black moon is helping us close out the year with an inward focus, and I'd like to think of it as a powerful, kind of magical, dark, rich soil where we can plant seeds that are meant to endure the tests of time. Capricorn is all about putting one foot in front of the other as you climb that mountain, and so the seeds and the manifestations that we come up with for this new moon in Capricorn have this extra emphasis of the black moon to help them endure through the future. The gate of the fighter that's carrying us through most of this week is inviting us to persevere and appreciate obstacles as opportunities to hone our skills or to choose more aligned paths towards our destinies. So it's that interplay between free will and destiny that's coming up this week. In the Cycles of Time Wheel of the Year that you can always see pinned to the top on Instagram at Cycles of Time Podcast or astro.somatics, or on Substack at astrosomatics.substack.com. I'm a visual learner, so I always like to point out where to find this elusive wheel that I talk about, that just kind of has a green highlighted strip over the part of the wheel that the sun is transiting through. And right now we're deep in north in the medicine wheel direction, north representing wind, elderhood, and spirituality. In the Wuxing cycle, 5-element cycle, the Taoist 5-element cycle that's used in a lot of traditional Chinese medicine, we are in the element water, the yin, deep, underworld, black moon kind of element. The pagan season, we just celebrated Yule. The zodiac season is Capricorn. The moon phase is a new moon in Capricorn on Monday, December 30th. And the I Ching hexagram in Human Design gate is 58, Lake over Lake, or joyousness, the gate of vitality on Monday. And then Monday evening through Sunday, Fire over Lake, known as opposition in the I Ching, or the gate of the fighter. So that's gate 38. So let's dig into the new moon. So for you Monday listeners, it's happening today. And 10:26 p.m. Eastern, 8:26 p.m. Mountain Time, my time. It is in the gate of the fighter. So pretty much all we're talking about this week is the gate of the fighter. If you'd like to learn more about the gate of joyousness or vitality, listen back on last week's episode. But we're going to just dive right into the new moon in the gate of the fighter. It's basically, as we draw 2024 to a close, the cosmos is offering us a rare and powerful celestial event, which is the new moon, black moon in Capricorn. And it kind of amplifies the black moon energy, that second new moon of a month or of a sign. It really amplifies the energy of new beginnings. It's like, again, that deep, potent black soil that is just like topsoil, like something that's just like really rich instead of like an alkaline soil that some new moons let us plant our seeds in. So yeah, deep, very fertile soil. And it is in the gate of the fighter, which is a root center gate in the human design body graph that puts pressure on us to fight for something and stand up for what we believe in. As we know, probably, I've talked a lot about Capricorn. I love Capricorn, the sea goat, but it's the zodiac's determined and disciplined earth sign, cardinal earth sign, that governs ambition and structure and long-term goals. And so this new moon is a very potent invitation to reflect on aspirations that you have and to define your path forward into the new year and commit to meaningful action. Again, it's an action-oriented gate, an action-oriented center of the body, an action-oriented sign. So Capricorn is a pragmatic energy, and it really blends nicely with the black moon's intensity, which really creates a great environment to set intentions that are rooted in stability and growth. This lunation really encourages us to focus on the big picture. And so that could be your career. Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house, which is the house of career and public perception and how we show up in the world. So it could be about career aspirations or strengthening your foundations or working toward something, some kind of mastery in your personal life. The key here is all about setting realistic yet bold goals and believing that you can fight. You can be a warrior. You can do it. You can do hard things. Saturn is Capricorn's ruling planet, and it emphasizes responsibility and perseverance and structure again. So it's a reminder that success comes with effort and patience. And, the more kind of structured and disciplined you can be about setting these goals, spreadsheet, you can manifest with a spreadsheet, right? I'm going to do it, It's nice to think about the Saturnian aspects of this full moon. The new moon is coinciding with the final days of the year, so it's also oftentimes a reflective time to release what is not working for you in your life and let go of fears or self-doubt and try to replace them with confidence and clarity. I'm feeling this energy. I'm planning out my next season of Cycles of Time podcast and looking to make a few changes to just make it a little more clear. Not boring. I like my rambles, but definitely a little bit more structured so it's easier to find the information that you need when you need it. And I'm thinking about putting it into a video format, YouTube format perhaps. And so my brain's ticking as I enter this. It's like, oh, I have to make lots of lists and categorical diagrams and spreadsheets. Yes, spreadsheets. So it's not exactly fun work, but it's like that's something that hasn't felt palatable to me, like even doable at all over the past few months. And all of a sudden, as we're approaching this energy of the gate of the fighter and the new year, I'm feeling ready to, just like sit down with my workbooks and my Notion tabs open and see what's going to make it the most efficient and productive and fun year next year. So that's something to do on this new moon if you feel compelled. Basically, I mentioned that I've been off the resolution train for a while now, but this moon does feel different. So if you're looking to solidify your resolutions for 2025, this black moon in Capricorn is an ideal moment to plant those seeds. You could consider rituals like journaling your goals or meditating on your intentions or performing some kind of grounding practice, laying on the ground actually to align with Capricorn's earthy stability, getting into your body. I feel like our bodies are the earth. And for me, part of that jiggling platform and has inspired me to also work out a little bit more in other ways and just be doing a few more downward dogs and planks and touching the ground. And I can't tell you how much better I feel than I have in a little while. So whatever helps you feel grounded would be helpful to do on this new moon. And the new moon isn't just about planning, it's about committing to something. So, like I said, it's a fertile soil to plant seeds for, as they relate to your ambitions and the mountains that you want to climb. So all you have to do is take the first step, one step at a time. But look up towards the sky, look up high and see what would be a great thing that you want to commit to. And the universe is here ready to support you. It's also, I feel like it's kind of a no bullshit new moon that is reminding us that the intentions that we set to persevere through struggles can pay off with honor, both external and internal. I think that power and resilience are strong this new moon. And the only challenge is really discerning for yourself what is worth fighting for, like choosing a thing and committing to a thing. And there's plenty to fight for in this world right now beyond ourselves. So I'd say, as a assignment this new moon in Capricorn, it would be great to make a list of the causes and the values that you believe in and that you are willing to fight for. And by laying them out, you might see how the work that you're already doing is aligned with the issues that you care about. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and, quit your job and start a nonprofit. Maybe you're already doing that, but maybe something that you're already doing really does align nicely with your values and with the greater picture. So it's also important to remember that hypervigilance and staying in fight or flight mode consistently is not sustainable. So when we say the gate of the fighter, think about a peaceful warrior or a warrior who takes time to rest and digest. You gotta eat your feast if you're a warrior. So don't take this as a cue to just fight your way through the week with everything that needs fighting for. It's really about that discernment about like what it is that you want to commit to and what it is that is truly worth fighting for and letting go of the rest. So use the dark sky of this black moon to connect with the most important and aligned actions that you can take toward the better world you dream of living in. And remember that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Next up, diving into Human Design Gate 38 a little deeper. This all ties back into the black moon, the new moon, because that is where both the sun and moon are in this gate during the new moon. And then the moon will move on as it does, but the sun will stay until Sunday in Gate 38, reminding us consciously of the fighter spirit. So this gate is really a gate of purpose and perseverance and drive, all those Capricornian qualities. And it's just all about noticing what truly matters in life. It's kind of governed by the tension of survival and determination. And it's kind of asks us to discern what is worth our energy and our effort, as I said before, and it really urges us to align with causes that bring meaning and significance to our existence. So in the gene keys, Gate 38 is Gene Key 38, and it explores the journey from the shadow of struggle to the gift of perseverance, and then finally to the siddhi or transcendent energy of honor. So at the shadow level, the energy of Gate 38 can manifest as a sense of fighting everything that comes your way, kind of purposeless fighting, and just struggling for struggle's sake. And that struggle is born out of a fear of or a resistance to the flow of life. If you're operating in the shadow frequency or feeling the vibes of the shadow of Gate 38 this upcoming week, it could be easy to feel stuck in battles that are depleting and kind of drain your energy and don't really bring fulfillment. You just feel like you're kind of swatting flies and just battling, whatever TikTok reel you decide to watch annoys you and you just want to battle it out. So moving into the gift level, the energy transforms into a steadfastness and a resilience, that sea goat putting her horns down and just tromping up the mountain. Here, the focus is on discerning which battles are worth fighting for. I know I've said that a lot of times, but it's a reason why this dark moon of kind of inward focus and journaling and meditation is so nicely aligned, because it gives us time, hopefully, and a little bit of opportunity to not just go out to battle, but to think about which battles are worth fighting and which causes align with our higher purpose. This gift is about turning challenges into stepping stones and embodying the courage to pursue what really matters to you. And then at the highest expression, Gate 38 is radiating the siddhi of honor. And honor transcends personal struggle and becomes a deep reverence for life itself. The spirit of the fighter or the warrior, when we're in this energetic frequency, is kind of shifting into a state of grace and recognizing the sacredness of every challenge and the opportunity that it's providing us for growth and evolution. And in the Gene Keys book, they say to honor someone is to hold them to their highest frequency, no matter what their current frequency may be. They say that an act of honor is rooted in love, so pure that it sacrifices itself without a thought to serve a higher aspiration. Every act of honor carries an equaling force into the world rather than a divisive force. This is how you can tell whether it's true or not. If the act brings people together into the high-frequency field, it is an act of honor. Honor always carries the frequency of mercy and surrender within it. Many appalling acts are committed in the name of honor, only if they have the effect of uniting all people involved, and if they contain mercy are they honorable. In this sense, the whole essence of honor is contained in the expression of honoring another. To honor someone is to hold them to their highest frequency. Thus, a person manifesting honor may be subjected to all manner of victimization at the hands of dishonorable people, but he or she will never sink to their level. On the contrary, he or she will continue to honor them and hold them to the highest regard. So, honor, I always think of, the samurai. When I hear the word honor, I think of this, Japanese culture for some reason, but definitely I think that the principle of honor is not always communicated so well in the West, or it's not something that we know as much about, but having honor is just, it's really having integrity, right? And so I think that as we move through the week thinking about what is worth fighting for and how we want to align ourselves with higher principles and not get caught up in the struggle for struggle's sake, taking honor as a North Star and really contemplating, what does honor mean to you? Like, what does it mean to honor another person in your interactions with them? And I love the idea of looking at every interaction that we have as like, how can this ultimately benefit everyone involved, even if it's challenging, even if there seem to be obstacles? Like, what is the North guiding star there? And, right now there's so much, the fighting has begun on Twitter X, with the dark MAGA and the red MAGA or something. I keep hearing all of these different titles for like the tech bros versus the anti-immigrant, red hat Americans, and everything that's going on in that sphere of the kind of civil war between the right and the different factions of it, and kind of bringing up a lot of class consciousness is pretty fascinating that's how this would be showing up. It's kind of a little bit of a wild card, but makes total sense, right? But just that there's a platform like Twitter or X for all to see that this is something that there's not a unified front, right? And that feels really hopeful and nice in some ways, to just see that the real is being brought up by people maybe that aren't even meaning to bring up the depth of conversations about income inequality and living wages and immigration and all of these things. So let's consider, as we move into this next week, that unity and coming together the face of challenges and adversities is the ultimate goal for the gate of the fighter, or the humble warrior, if you will. In the I Ching, gate 38 is known as opposition or diverging interests. And it symbolizes the inherent tension between differing perspectives and values. So here we go. And it urges us to find clarity and alignment amidst opposition. The I Ching mentions that opposition can foster growth when approached with awareness and determination. And, it's again that mountain goat climbing up the mountain, just really putting one foot after another to really achieve great feats, and knowing that, if we don't work together, like, you can fall down. We all can fall. So key lessons from hexagram 38 in the I Ching include the importance of staying true to one's path, even in the face of adversity, and learning to navigate challenges with integrity and focus. The struggle that's represented in this hexagram is not about conflict for conflict's sake, but about standing firm in alignment with your own truth. If you have gate 38 in your human design chart, and if you don't know this, if you don't know your chart, you could just Google human design chart. There's a lot of free chart generators, and I'm about to add one to my website as well very soon. So, but I would say just look up your human design chart. You put in your birth information, and you can see which gates you have activated. So if you are listening and you don't know, I recommend doing it because it's really fun to follow along week by week and see if the sun is lighting up one of your birth gates. So if you have 38, It really brings an innate desire to live a life of significance. It's a really purposeful, purpose-driven gate. And, what is worth fighting for is the key question here. You can write that one down. And what gives my life meaning? It's, some light thoughts to contemplate on these last couple days of the year and the beginning of the new year. So, if you have this gate, or if you're feeling the energy of the sun in this gate this week, it's all about this deep connection to the purpose that you have and the relationships and endeavors that you are involved in, kind of like what the deeper meaning is to everything that you're doing. No big deal. It forms the channel of struggle, the 2838 channel in the body graph. And so this, if you have both of those gates, it becomes more pronounced, just looking for meaning amidst life's inherent challenges, really seeing what the purpose is about all of these obstacles that come your way. In the Gene Keys, they mention this as well and say that, where's that page? The only difference between the 38th shadow of struggle and the 38th gift of perseverance is the nature of the fight. You have only to find the right fight, and your whole experience of this gene key changes. As you pour your heart, body, and soul into a fulfilling fight, it ceases to be a struggle. Here you learn the difference between meeting obstacles and fighting resistance. Resistance is what occurs when you are pushing against the universal flow, and is a hallmark of all the shadow states. Obstacles, however, are natural to the rhythm of life. Obstacles test your commitment and surrender, allowing you to forge new skills and hone your excellence. Obstacles are always gifts in disguise. The 38th gift is designed for obstacles. In fact, it loves them. If you are someone with the 38th gift in your profile, every obstacle is a wonderful and vital opportunity to feel more alive and to fulfill your higher destiny. That is a silver linings kind of way to view obstacles, but I love the difference between resistance and obstacles because they can seem quite similar to one another. But when we really think about it, resistance is an internal state of just making obstacles for ourselves because we're resisting the flow of life. But obstacles out in the world will arise just as the goat climbing the mountain will come upon a rock that they cannot pass very easily, or a stream or a tree, and have to go around it. And when you can find ways, it's kind of like, I think about the snowboarders and skiers that I know that just don't go on groomed trails at all, and they love to just go through the trees. And I'm one of them when I'm feeling fit anyway. Once I get my shaky on, I'll be back in the trees. But I feel like that is a great example of an obstacle that is desired. It's I really want to show that I have the embodiment and the finesse, to be able to dance with the mountain in a certain way, to be able to dance with a kind of hard things that come up in front of me and hone my excellence, hone my skills through dancing with them, rather than avoiding them completely. So it takes a certain type for sure, but I think it's a beautiful gate here to work with for this first week of 2025. So, some practical applications for the week ahead are to reflect on where you're investing your energy and notice if you're fighting battles that align with your core values, or if you're caught in a struggle that doesn't actually mean as much to you. If you won this struggle that you're currently in, if it ceased to exist, would you feel fulfilled and satisfied, or would you find a new struggle? It's just an interesting thing to think about this week. This week, you can also cultivate perseverance by identifying the higher purpose behind your challenges and the obstacles that are coming your way. This is often hindsight is 2020 kind of vibes, but, if we sit with it and we notice what lessons or growth opportunities the challenges in our life are currently offering, it's something to just feel a little bit of gratitude for. Even the hard things, like literally chopping my thumb off, was a growth opportunity to notice how much I wanted to use my thumb scrolling. And that feels really silly to say, but it's true. Another application this week would be to embrace opposition as an opportunity for refinement and clarity. So opposition can sharpen your focus and help you define what truly matters when you are aware of what the obstacles are and not afraid to name them. So to finish off, Gate 38 reminds us that life's challenges are not just obstacles, but invitations to evolve. And by embodying perseverance and honoring each other and honoring our unique purpose in this world, we can really transform struggle into a life of courage and meaning and integrity. So this week is not so like fluffy and rainbows and puppy dogs. There's some deep work here. Destiny, free will, agency, struggle, obstacles, integrity, perseverance. It's truly Capricornian. And it's a great time of year and a great new moon to give ourselves a little bit of time to sit with these bigger concepts about how we want to hone ourselves and evolve into the new year. So with that, I will leave you. Happy New Year. 2025, the year of the hermit snake. I posted the image from last week's episode of the hermit snake as 2025 on Instagram and on Substack as well, and got so many responses to it. People were like, I am feeling that for this year. So hopefully this black moon can give a little bit of a preview before we fight our way into 2025. So thanks for being here throughout this year. I'm so looking forward to bringing more content and more courses and just lots more fun stuff that I'll be announcing soon over the next season of Cycles of Time. And if you would be a dear and give me a 5-star review, just click the star button if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music. It really helps me get out and reach more people. And another way to support is by commenting or sharing this with somebody who you think might benefit from it. And I am so grateful again that you're here. Hope you have a beautiful, beautiful New Year's Eve and watching whatever ball drop or taking a nap, whatever it is you're going to do. So I'll see you next week in 2025.